YouTube, send a notification on YouTube. Send them out, send them out. Yeah, people, they are live. YouTube, go and send a notification them. You see me? Go and send a notification them. I see the topic, I want to see the discussion we're going to have tonight. So we see a portion of people forward out and I talk about the whole Vybz Kartel slash dancehall influence. Because you know, most of the time when these people say dancehall, it's like Vybz Kartel name after enough show. Get me I say? So today what we're gonna do, we're gonna have a discussion, panel discussion. Um so panel discussion and things. So yeah, anyway, people. Ah boy. Alright, so as always, you know, so it we're gonna deal with you now. Lethal nation, you know, so that nation is well lethal. So what me I gonna do now? Give me a second, people, to line it up properly. You have the key? Alright, YouTube, line up on yourself, girl. You know, girl. We go to the people who are rolling, you know. I see Browns out, I see Cashew Red, I see Gaza Ricardo, I see Dwayne Ward, portion of people rolling. One of the night, yeah. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Where is the Joe? Joe Bad. Phoebe and Jamaica and Thompson, big up yourself. Daddy Lynch there in our building, same. Ocean a regular people, me say I roll in. People them are there for day one and support it. Look for myself, when I know say we can't. You know, say without Tony, he's nothing, so we have to be going up every time. No? Alright, so the first panel guess when I go join right now. People press up a like from your forward up. Press up a like for your forward now. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Press up a like. Don't I press up a like? Now you hear what me I say? Just want to make sure say this I work proper. Now you hear me properly, now you hear me testing, testing. Testing, 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 testing. Now you hear me? Up, guys, up. Um, yeah. What go on, Brandon? What there, We are wait for the first one, I guess. Because I'm telling you, no, no, say, find we a whole reason and thing. I deal with it on the vibe. You see me? And on the intellectual vibe and so forth. So, anything we approach it that sort of way there. So, we are wait for the first guest. Ricky Fuligasa. Big up yourself, Ricky Fuligasa. MB, bro. Big up yourself as well. Big up people. Make sure you like up the live stream. Make sure you like up the stream, people. Like up the stream. Later, boss. I'll leave it to my friend. No notification. Oh, God. Say go, brother. I think I fight. Probably I just one of them things, isn't it? Sometimes you don't want to say fight, but we don't know what else to say. But the people in join up. Check him. Hey, Marcy, big up yourself, man. No, Mars are one of them top flabber they out there where I do it. I have to big up Mars. The man them mates. And they can hurt it there, Mars. Big up yourself, Mars. Jason Lane, big up yourself. Dane Graham, upset speed. 34 people and counting. YouTube send a notification if I don't play bad man thing. Fully Gaza. Over Roach, big up yourself, Over Roach. Jason Lane. Mm-hmm. Fully Gaza UTG. I don't know if I can play that no man. And then I go sleep, then we get the notification. Respect for the life. Oh, some people get the life now. One nation, how I go. You go myself, Jair. I'm not see, bro. I'm not see. Yeah. You hear me now?
Yeah, man, may I hear you.
Cool. All right. So, people, we have the panel guest right here. So now, Kimani, one whom I consider to be very knowledgeable on the subject of dancehall and other matters. Dancehall commentator like myself, as well, I say, very knowledgeable. When I say very, a whole heap of very. So, Kimani, my G, tonight,
Mm.
what we are talking about from the title, but it's supposed to be we are talking about Damien Crawford recent thing about dancehall. But we know say from a long time, you are one of the person who may I reason with this, and I even you show me enough of the points them. You get to me I say supporting the fact say, there is no link like that of such with violent music and crime we're committing in Jamaica. So may I give you the floor right now? I'm gonna want you talk to the people, talk to everybody. Give me a talk. What you think about this whole thing?
All right, respect. Give thanks for invite me for pass through, and reason. This is a particular topic where me and you over the years have discussed quite a number of times. I think it's
Yeah.
a topic that has been quite uh topical in dancehall. Every time there's a spike in murders, everybody hunts around for the reason, and usually, dancehall is the I don't know the easy target. One might say. Um, I remember back in 2004-5, thereabouts, Raga Shanti and Ian Boyne had this back and forth debate where they were trading articles in the Gleaner, one defending dancehall lyrics and the other going against. So it has been something that has, you know, um, run its course over and over and over.
Mhm.
So a lot of the points are not new. People on one side who defend dancehall lyrics said, dancehall is just a reflection of the society. It's just art. It's just you talking about what they're seeing. The other side saying music is very influential. If it can influence people to buy clocks, as some people say, then why it can't influence them to be violent? So I think
Yeah.
there's some good aspects on both, because I'm an objective person. So I always look at both sides to see, what makes sense on either side. I think there's some good points on either side, but tonight I hope that we can flesh out and really pick sense out of nonsense. So
Mhm. All right. So one of the points that people put forward, right? As you just said a while ago, and Crawford did touch upon it, is that if it is that you can hold on, if it is that you can influence, if Vybz Kartel, for example, can influence somebody to bleach, can make Clark sales go up, how is it then that we are going to say that he can't influence people to commit murder, or he can't increase the murder rate, but through his music?
honestly, Brando, when I hear this argument, honestly, sometimes, especially when I hear this argument from very intelligent people with enough common sense, whether they're educated or not, but common sense, well-thinking people, it kind of confuses me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at the murder statistics, Jamaica has been a very violent place for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
starting from the late 60s, kind of mushroomed around. In that period, about mid 70s, we had a spike in the murder rate in 1980 around the election time. And
Mm-hmm.
during all of that time, when we were killing our one another, there was no violent lyrics in dancehall. There was no dancehall at that time
Right.
as we know it today. So it's just really amazing to me that a problem that we have had that has built up, if you look at the graph about the murders in Jamaica from the 1970s, it's a steady incline. It's a steady growth of murders, a growth in the murder rate from the 1970s right up to leveling off in the 2010 to 2020 region, where
Mm-hmm.
we hit 1600 in 2005, 2009, and again in 2015, 16 thereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
And and we kind of at 1400 per year. But the fact of the matter is that murder and crime and violence has been such a big problem in our history overall, that when violent lyrics really started to come to the fore, late 80s into the 90s, I don't know how all of a sudden that would now become the reason for for the murder, that we saw the trend, that we saw, you know, all the different machinations behind politics and behind post-colonial Jamaica that led to that. So I'm not really sure, why persons would think that.
Some persons have it for say, all right, here we go on. Crime is not the major contributor, but it is a contributor nonetheless to crime. Not
Hmm.
crime, sorry, violent music. So
All right.
they must say then basically watch this. Cause even today I watch a video with Syrupy, and he must say, for example, if it can influence positively, right? Because them
Hmm.
says Islam make the crime rate drop with theme type of music. Everybody want to turn rust. Nobody never want to kill nobody and so forth. So if it is, then we can argue that it did so positively. Why is it that we can't say it affect people negatively and cause crime?
All right. Let's look at it now. In detail. Let's dig in. Right.
Mhm.
So rape is, and I just want to make a distinction and just finish answering the question you asked, right? I think
Mhm.
there's a big difference between a man making a moral decision, crossing moral lines, breaching moral norms of actually taking somebody's life, going against Christianity, going against what you've learned, going against the sanctity of life, to kill somebody, jeopardize your entire life, to be murdered by police or murdered by other bad men, or to spend the rest of your life in jail because an artist said that yes, that is something you have to do. Versus buying a clocks, where you might end up
Mhm.
don't like it. It's a choice between a fashion choice and a moral choice. I don't know how people could put that on the same level. The same amount of thinking and mindset cannot be cannot be the same, that the same mindset goes into choosing to kill somebody as which goes into which hairstyle me go wear, or whether me go wear polka dot, or whether me go wear all black, or whether me go wear Clarks. Especially when what all Cartel did was to pick up something that was already in the culture and
Mm-hmm.
make it nice, make it
True.
stylish, make it be back
True.
in, back on the front burner.
Mm-hmm.
Because man, I wear
That's
Clarks a
not like
long
class
time. It
nigga
was
that
already
weird.
a cultural thing
Mm-hmm.
that him take up and say, all right, the people then we will gravitate to this and resonate to it because it's already a
Mm-hmm.
cultural thing.
Right.
You
True. Just
understand?
like
So
bleaching.
come again?
Just like bleaching.
Just like bleaching. And I want to give you a give you a quick example with that. I was a part of the team at the Ministry of Health that led the anti-skin bleaching campaign in 2005, 2006. I don't know if the listeners remember that. We went around the island to different libraries, invited high school students, had presentations about bleaching and the negative effects of bleaching and so on. And listen to
Mm-hmm.
me, I went across this island in 2005,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the kids who came to those presentations were already bleaching. Young youth, little boy, little girl, them know the cream, them know the gel. We weren't telling them anything that they didn't know because we had like empty boxes, on display to tell them what to stay away from and whatever. And they were the ones telling us, oh, there's a new one called Michael Jackson, or there's this new one called Opal White, or you don't know about Omic, or we mix this
Mm-hmm.
with that and whatever. That was 2005. Now, when
Wow.
Vybz Kartel started talking about bleaching, me hear everybody talk about Vybz Kartel make the youth them a bleach. No, Vybz Kartel observed what was happening in the society, in the culture, knew the people would be able to relate to it,
Mm-hmm.
put it skillfully on record, and the
Mm-hmm.
people gravitated to it because that is what was going on in the inner workings of the beast that is the society of Jamaica at the time. Jump on
Mm-hmm.
to scamming and chopping. Again, Montego Bay, I was in Montego Bay, intern at Cornell Regional Hospital 2006, 2007. And when I would go to my parties and thing, scammers, nobody was calling them chopping or choppers at the time, but scammers are buy bottles up and bottles of SS spades and a wash car rim with SS spade and a, floss
And this
crazy.
our year?
This was 2006,
Wow.
2007, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was already going on. I met people show me lists, people show me what lists look like at the time. Right, and my family members who are sure me say, yo, them are the scammer, them and all over the place. 16-year-old I build house, I buy car for him father, for him mother, all kind of things. And then when a man drop scammer them there and some other bad scammer song, all of a sudden the artists them have create songs and influence the youth them for scam.
Mm-hmm.
It's very weird, bro. It's very weird.
To me, it's like society
Mm.
because something reaches mainstream media, i.e., um, dancehall, hip hop, or whatever it is. Them feels that it is at that point that it starts to take off, and that is not true. So, for example, all right, me could look on even um when Carter sings a freaky girl and so forth and so. Brother, me surprised to know that there was a book in the 70s where I talk about deep truth. And there were
Mm-hmm.
people who know about them. Some of them may talk to an elder and them and say, "Look, you think I want to bring them thing that come? Them thing that about long time.
Long time, yeah,
74
yeah,
book."
yeah.
And
No,
she
no,
saw
this is
everybody a
no,
run go carry to go watch the show because the show did out. So this thing was always there. It's just
always
as
there.
you say, Vybz Kartel see a trend, and as you say, this trend is in the inner city, or this trend is in the underground, or I don't know what one term it, as you say, the beast. It is there, but it's not being talked about in forefront, on the forefront, or in mainstream media. So when you put it in a mainstream media now, it's like everybody say, him a cause it then.
Exactly. No,
So what you
no,
da call that then?
I don't like to reason this honestly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the effect of somebody skillfully putting it into a catchy record, what is already having happening in the society? What happens, and I really want people to listen and realize that we have to reason and look at both sides. It looks more marketable, it looks glossy, it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
when a man puts certain things that is happening in the society on record. So does
Mm-hmm.
that mean now that potentially, because
Go on, Mayor. Hello?
yo, you hear me?
Yeah, man, Mayor now.
Okay. Yeah, so potentially, if we have made it sound like it's a cool thing to do, scamming, and you can live big life, does that mean that maybe that can then invite participation by the youth when they hear the songs and say, boy, that sound good. So that has to be considered. You have to look at that. Now,
Mm-hmm.
my view on that is this. My view on that is this. There's no music form that I know of, and I listen to music very widely. There's no
Mm-hmm.
music form that I know of that speaks about burning out people who rape and who burn out pedophile, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hanging tree. It has been consistent from the 90s, from me I listen to music early 90s until now. Fire upon them, we don't like rape or them don't like thief. What I don't understand is if music is so influential and the artists are so expressive in what you should do with people who rape little pitney and who touch little boy and who touch little girl and who, deal with body and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that that has not influenced the youth to go against that trend and not
Mm-hmm.
to do those things? Because right now, and for a very long time, the number of assaults in Jamaica have been over 1,000 reported to the CPFSA with as it pertains kids per month, over
Mm-hmm.
1,000 per month, and that is
Wow.
those that have been reported. That's what we know of,
Mm-hmm.
right? Some of the cases of rape and even the ones that have been um spoken about recently with the 5 young men who boogered the little girl in St. Anne. Those,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about 5 at once, but many cases like that have been happening over the years. Many. There are many uncles and stepfathers who raping off them little niece and them nephews and them little stepdaughters when them 10, 11, 12. If dancehall burn out those things so much, why has it not impacted those rates? Why have they steadily increased? Why is it that the only violent area that dancehall seems to have an effect on is killing people? Why has it not deterred people from stealing and deterred people from raping and deterred people from pedophilia?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I guess,
Right? If
person.
it is, if music is so powerful, why hasn't it had that effect on the people? Why in the late 90s and early 2000s, when
Mm-hmm.
Luciano and Glenn Washington and George Nooks and Sizzler and Richie Spice could do no wrong, when 5, 6 of the song them on top 10 ER were conscious songs, when there was just like a revolution in the music and keep it on a bonfire upon everything, why did the crime rate continue to go up?
Mm-hmm. True.
So that is my answer to it. My answer to it is I would never say that there's not a youth or a couple youth or a few or whatever that um you know the music has caused to go out, or the music, I can't say that. I will never say that. But
Mm-hmm.
I cannot look at a problem that has been going on for 40 years, steadily increasing, that has become a cultural problem that is deep rooted in our society. And I want to discuss that. I don't know how much time I have, but I
No,
want to
man, go on,
discuss
talk,
that.
yeah, talk, man.
I talk with
Yeah, talk
more
about it.
talk
You don't
about
have time.
what the real problems are. If we're going to spend an hour talking about the reasons for crime in Jamaica, I would
Mm-hmm.
say 1 minute should be spent on dancehall music.
Wow.
Dancehall music to me is a signal, it is a litmus test. You look at the art of a country to know what the heart of the country is. That is what tells you what is in people's heart. If
Mm-hmm.
people's heart were good and the society abhorred crime, when a man make a bad man song, nobody not go stream it, nobody not go listen to it. Every man
Mm-hmm.
not go say boo to that, and him have to
If it
go
was
back
a
again and change the
utopia.
music form and
Mm-hmm.
change what I sing about.
Right.
Why are the people resonating to this kind of music? Is it not because it represents and they can relate to it and it
Mm-hmm.
represents the culture of the place
Mm-hmm.
and
It
what is in the
represents the news.
mindset of the people?
Right. It represents the news, the newspaper, everything.
Thank you very much. So the day we can fix our society Instead of using music as a scapegoat, what we need to do is use dancehall music as a diagnostic tool, as a
Mm-hmm.
litmus test. You want to know what is really happening in the bellies of your society? Listen to what the people are resonating to. Listen to what the people them are listen to. Vybz Kartel put out a whole heap of song. Alkaline, Popcorn, whole heap of the artists them over the years put out enough positive songs. Most times, are they the songs that the people gravitate to? Are they the songs that get most of the hype when a man sing about peace and love and so on? Why do the people gravitate more to some of the bad man songs? Brother, listen, I'm no hypocrite, you know. When me go out sometime I'm at a party and some bad man songs start playing, you know, in my mind, you know, me feel like yo, me get an energy, you know. So I would
Yeah.
never say that it does not have an emotional effect on you. But for you to breach the lines of morality, if you were a moral society to say, yo, me I take up a gun and go kill a boy then because of a song, no, bro. Never. Could
Mhm.
never be.
Right. Definitely. So, all right. As it relates to impact of music and so on on the violence, what you'd have said then to persons who say movies as well can have that same impact, or like your cartoons or so forth or so. 'Cause some persons are of the impression that your music and your cartoons, therefore, and the movies have the same impact on the crime. You
All right.
understand? And yeah.
All right. Let me rank some things, right?
Mhm.
I would say that the music, the visual expression of how to rob a bank, or or how to kill somebody and get away with it. I believe those things that probably has more of an effect on somebody's mind than music. But
Mhm.
again,
Audio
I
visual.
must say that what has more of an impact than all those things, what socializes our young more than anything else,
Mhm.
it is what me see, is what me grow up and see when I
Community.
you grow up,
Mhm.
Brando, in the
Mhm.
community and look around him. And the man who in the community I get the hottest girl in the community is a shatter, is a bad
Mhm.
man, is a dan.
Mhm.
When the man who drive the biggest Benz and the biggest Beamer and where all the man them rate on the corner is a bad man and is a gunman.
Mhm.
When the people them when the man who for mother who have the shop, nobody don't want war no money and everybody go pay up them bill,
Mhm.
right? When you can get respect in your community and respect in your society by
Mhm.
being a bad man, what kind of, and you see that every single day growing up, 1 year old, 2 year old, 3 year old, 4 year old, 5 year old, that is socialization, bro. That is
Everybody want to be the
socialization.
done. Everybody
That
want to be the done.
everybody want to be that is more powerful than any music you could listen and
Brother,
listen today or any movie you could
brother,
watch because you're
when
seeing
you
it in
have a
real life. You're
society,
watching it happen. You grew up with a youth, and him did dance in a school, and him never do nothing. And not no girl ever want him. And as him
Mhm.
turn shot and start bust two corner and thing, all of a sudden, and start, get some money, and no matter how him get the money, and him start dress clean and run one bag. All of a sudden, him start get all of the woman them, and all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Man rate him and him can go anywhere and him walk in a party free. That is the lifestyle. Every youth
Mhm.
want to be like that. There's too much profitability and too much value in being a
Mhm.
gunman in Jamaica.
Gunman in Sheol, she like that. One
You
great
understand
man
what I'm
said
saying? There
that.
is too much value in it. What a
Yeah.
youth want more than ratings, my youth. Ratings from your
Mhm.
brethren them and ratings from woman where you can get woman easy
And
and
then
you can
think
go
about
anywhere and
these
get through
youths
with where
that
you want
come
to go through, go
from.
party, walk through the gate them.
Right. And then think about these youths who come from some impoverished communities who seem like them never have no hope, them not gonna get no job, them not get no this and this. And the man where them see, we get all of the girl, we get all of the money, we get all of the car, we get all of the fame. It's the man who have the gun. Then me I go want to have a gun too. And me I go want
So
in a bun, so me go
the
want be a
point I'm
gun.
making, right, is
Mm-hmm.
if I take off all dancehall violent lyrics off
Mm-hmm.
the radio, off YouTube, somehow find a way to stop make everybody record for 15, 20 years. And you say, well, that stop teach the youth them badness. But still around them, they're getting a 24/7 lesson in badness and the profitability and the value in badness from who they see around them. the stories that they hear. Even when a bad man dead, he gets he gets glorified with a mural on a wall in the community, and his name and he's looked up to. And you go through all of that. How can music teach you more than that which you are seeing every single day of your life around you? It is not an actor, it is not a musician pretending to be bad. It's people who are around you where you see with real gun, where you hear about real con. How can anything else be more influential than that?
So yeah, so then that have way more influence, the living
Obviously.
conditions.
So for me, for somebody to come into the hospital and their blood is poisoned or their entire body is poisoned and they shut down all them organs. And me say, Lord God, the kidney shut down. Me I need to fix the kidney. Me need to work on the kidney. Right? The kidney shut down, So it may make sense to say, boy, you need to fix the kidney. But why has the kidney shut down? The kidney is giving you a signal that this body is poisoned and that you need to get some strong antibiotics to treat the infection of the entire blood and the entire body to then have a chance at fixing all the other problems. But you must use that signal, that symptom, as a guide to the real problem. Don't use that symptom to then just hark and focus on that particular symptom, because then you misdiagnose, and when you misdiagnose, you're going to lose your patient. And this is my main problem. This is my main problem why I'm so concerned. You hear the passion in my voice when me and you reason about this in a Brando, is that when you misdiagnose the problem that we're having in Jamaica right now, it is not going to be fixed. I love my country. So when everybody going on the wrong path and focusing on the wrong thing and misdiagnose, that means the treatment that you apply is going to be the wrong treatment. And while you're there giving the wrong treatment, the cancer is going to spread even more, or the infection is going to spread even more. And then we have a failed society.
Right. So yeah, I said then
we don't want that.
The example like where you give them, it's like you basically I say, yo, we need to treat the cause. Or because what I think persons are doing now, them a look on it and them a say, all right. Most people when me hear recently, because a lot of times me hear people that talk, them a say it cause it, is that the conversation is that people are reasoning in absolute terms. So like say for example, a man then I say, here one, it has no influence. So one of it left it alone. And then the next one I say, yeah man, it have influence. But the man when I say, yeah man, it have influence, he might make it seem like the only influence, or it is one of the great influences. When probably like it's even at the top 10. And as well, you will say, why is it that me I go treat a disease? Right? All right. May have 10 suspects for a disease. Right? Can be 10 things that cause a disease using where you are saying. Or not even 10 things, can be 10 different diagnoses. But one of them is the least likely. Then why me I go spend my resources and my treatment towards the least likely one? Why not focus on the ones that are most likely? Know that you say?
That is exactly what I say. That is exactly what and I don't understand how people look past these things and going to pick on dancehall music all the time. And here's the thing about it. Say we really take an opportunity, we take this opportunity to focus on what we need to fix in our country. And we can talk about that, the solutions, a little later. What is going to happen, is that when you create a society that abhors violence, that wants to protect our young and protect our elderly, and believes in the sanctity of life, what will happen, is that when a man go up on a track and start talk about, Mario this and AK-47 and a boo, people are gonna boo him in a Brando. And him have to go back in the studio and make a different song, and come back with something that the people them want, right? And you're watching it happen elsewhere. Let me give you a quick example. Drill music, right? Or trill music in Chicago, in America, right? There are many people having the same argument, that music is causing violence in Chicago, because Chicago is a very violent place, And there are many people who have the same argument that music is what is causing the violence in Chicago. No, remember, the music popular all across America. The kids are listening to it, but Chicago is the only place where it is causing violence. You see, that's another malprop of an argument. How does
Right.
that make sense to people? No, the youth them singing about what them grow up and see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if somebody were to say, Kimani, we want to stop dancehall violent lyrics, I would say to them, well, stopping it is not going to do anything bad,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see how it is going to necessarily do anything good.
Yeah.
You
Because,
understand? That would be
all
my
right, watch
argument to
this.
it.
Just like what you said with the example earlier. A man come and son him in the hospital or him got a doctor or whatever in prison, and him have a fever, and him have running belly, and him have one next symptom, right? You give him Panadol, right? Something for the fever or so. That no mean say you gonna stop the infection or whatever it is. It's a symptom you treat. So as well you was say giving the Panadol now go do nothing bad to the situation, but giving the Panadol is not overall going to end the
Excellent,
situation.
excellent reasoning, bro. Excellent,
It's still a
excellent
go
reasoning.
there.
Excellent reasoning. And I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to extend the reasoning a little bit, right? Let me tell you about culture, right? Um, Molly, popping Molly and taking lean. It's another thing with the man them rap about a whole heap. And again, people say, oh, rap music is causing the people to take lean and take Molly. Obviously, people said that the youth them are doing at the club, that are going to the community. So they started to rap about it. People can
Mm-hmm.
relate to it. So they jump to it and they get
You don't care
excited
about
about it. Right?
it.
No, look, dancehall culture. Do we believe in taking Molly and sipping lean?
No.
Not in any in any widespread way.
Mm-hmm.
So when an alkaline talk about pop Molly and pop tags in a one song, it never caught on. You
Mm-hmm.
don't hear it all over the place in a bag of songs because it is not our
Mm-hmm.
culture. We don't
Right.
relate to it. You understand? So it's not going
Not
to take on.
relatable.
So so that is how it works. You look around you, you see what people are doing, you put it in a song, and people react to it and real jubilantly because they can relate to it and they make them feel, oh, yo, even if
Brother.
they're not doing it, they have friends who are doing it. Like me. Me love weed song, but me don't smoke weed.
All right.
And you want to see me when me there party, I put my two finger in my mouth like me a smoke and one bag of
Mm-hmm.
something and role play and all of that. But that is
Mm-hmm.
my culture. So I
Because
can
it's
relate
like
to it.
the music helps to stimulate your imagination as well, do you know? So it's
Of
like I
course.
don't smoke weed, but that song you have a nice weed vibe to it. So I
But
vibe to it.
but Molly can stimulate my imagination because I've never that is not my life, that is not my
Mm-hmm.
culture, that is not what my friends do or the people around me do. I can't imagine
Mm-hmm.
that. I can relate to it.
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
Mm.
And as you raised the point earlier, right? And I think this is a follow up to it, which make perfect sense. It's just like a business. If it is when me the year so, right? I'm going to open a business. I'm going to sell things. The first thing when me probably doing now, I do a mini market research or in so if it's not a market research, big word. We go so boom and we ask a question. What you think could I really sell right here? So I work in a business and a man say, boy, you know a shop would I do well here so. And what you think could I sell? Some canned beef and rice and so and so and so.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
naturally, me I go sell things where people want. So
Hmm.
as we said earlier, the artist them must sell you something where already you want. And what we
Hmm.
need to figure out is why is it that people don't want other things? And why
Hmm.
is it that they
Exactly.
want chicken or they want fish or they want whatever? As me I said earlier in our life in Kimani, certain things like sex and violence, them they are main things to human. I don't know if
Long
how
time.
we evolve when we are
Long time.
survive, we did have to have sex or we did have to kill. One out
Yep.
of the two. Or would you have to do both? Because you have to ward a man there and take him tribe. When you take him tribe, you take him woman, you take him woman. This is how you have children and your generation move on. So if you survive, and when you eat, you have to kill, you have to hunt. And when you
Hmm.
hunt, you have to kill. And when so it's like violence and sex has always been a part of mankind
It's true.
from
It's true.
caveman days.
It's true. And but something just hit me a while ago, and there's a point where we really want to delve into before
Skilly
we.
Bang featuring that baby. What that?
Oh, well, go on.
Hold on, there, bro. What go on? What go on? Sorry, we didn't talk about violence, but Amanda's linked me a while ago and Skilly Ben collab with that baby and his mixtape. What? What?
Thing up.
What? Hold on there, hold on there. We
Rich
pause
Rich
for
the Kid,
long.
me see him collab with the other day, and now the baby, the man thing. So the rapper them rate
Yo,
Skilly Bang vibe, you know.
what you think about Skilly Bang? What you think about him vibe? You know, me I talk about
Um,
the program, I can't say a bucket together.
no man, you can man, you
Yeah,
can. All right, this is Skilly Bang now.
yeah.
And again, as me telling them, me keep it 100. I believe in art, you know. And if the a moment is point quick before we jump on Skilly Bang topic, right?
Yeah.
You them. The reason I say that you them to make less violent lyrics right now, Rando, is that it's almost like only that me hear, you know? And I think
Mm-hmm.
from an artistic perspective, there's so much around us that is happening. I want the youth to talk about what's around them. And there are different angles to talk about violence, you know? We need to have some songs where talk about the effect of violence on others and what mama feel. You understand? And that has always been an important
Hold
part.
on there. The sound away. Go
Okay,
ahead.
how me sound now?
Yeah, go on, go through, yeah.
That has always been an important part of dancehall music, rebel music. It always carry out the feelings and the frustration of the poor and the people who are, you know, the underserved people. So
Mm-hmm.
all of the mothers and the fathers who are lose them kids and who are go through, you know, a lot of different things. Me feel like we must have some more songs from some different angles and touching on bag of other topics. So that is my thing, you know. So when I listen to Skilly Bang mixtape, right, and was it 35 songs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somebody I tell me say him get a DJ Khalid intro too. What the hell? Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go on, that's anyway, sorry. Where is it? 35
Yeah,
track. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Man, I say when me listen to Skilly Bang mixtape, me hear too many songs that talk about AK. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
When I listen to Torpedo and Rose That Grew from Concrete, which I think is kind of a ripoff of Tupac, of Tupac. Tupac did have an anthology called The Rose That Grew from Concrete.
Okay.
But it was very creative. Mr. Universe, very creative. Me love Brick Pan Brick. Me really like, the kind of offbeat rhyming, and the lyrics will come from another level, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You could see that he's very educated. I watched an interview with him where say him have a distinction in English or some literature or something. So you can see that that comes out in the lyrics. So I rate the freshness. Him have a very fresh sound. It's
Mm-hmm.
not very often that you have somebody who sounds so fresh and so different, and have the lyrics to go. But I think he found a strategy to get the hit songs, a particular cadence that he has been on to hit, and he's
Mm-hmm.
been trying to milk that cadence too much. So a lot of dabbling a little DJing. About 5, 6 of the songs I can mix, and it don't sound like the beat change really, because the cadence and the rhyming very very similar. And sometimes that happens. You get a hit song, you get two, you get three. Why
Mm-hmm.
not give the people more of what they might ask for? So
Yeah.
um, good for the music right now, and me really hope him can get some melodies put in the songs, and him can take a step overseas and start ride the billboard, the real billboard, Hot 100 and them things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my view.
Alright, good, good, good. Alright, back to what we are saying. We could stay for our topic what we are saying. Alright. As it relates to, come here your reason there, you make a point as it relates to the correlation between the top 10 countries that have the most murder homicide rate and music. Give me the reason for that again. Hold on.
Yeah, so basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, I got very interested to do some research on this. I was looking at the top 25 most murderous countries in the world, and found that majority of those countries were in the Latin America, Caribbean, South American, and West African regions. Remember, almost 200 countries in the world, right? And many continents, and it just seemed to be from a particular region. And when you look at the similarities, what were the common denominators among those countries, you
Mm-hmm.
found that it had to do with slavery, history in slavery,
Mm-hmm.
post-colonial um, era that was
Regime.
fraught with corruption by the leaders who took over. Most
Mm-hmm.
of those countries were somewhere in between the um, the the smuggling of drugs from South America into America. Most of these countries were transshipment countries. You had the development of after the influx of guns through politics. Then you had
Mm-hmm.
gang culture that took over, and where crime became profitable. and where gangs then became independent of the control of political interests,
Mm-hmm.
and then it became cultural. And now we're in the cultural phase where the kids grew up in this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the kids in the 60s and 70s grew into it, but many of the kids in the 90s, 2000s have grown up to see this. This is what they know. And among all those countries, the only country where there's an argument about the music being the main cause or a major cause of crime is Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
and that is just 2 million over out of um over 100 million people in the regions that I just mentioned.
Right.
So for everybody else, it's all these major issues which are also common
So
denominators that
nobody
Jamaica
now
have.
mention music then.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna mention music for the rest of countries like Brazil and Venezuela, what is it? Gangsta salsa, gangsta
Mm.
samba, gangsta merengue. You know, I mean, if you listen to those songs, all the man them sing about is love and this girl and I love you and I'm sorry and oh te amo mami and all this stuff. So, you know, not that there isn't some, you know, but there's no major music form that is a popular music form in these countries, like how dancehall is a popular music form
Mhm.
in Jamaica. Nobody is talking about you know, movies and music being the reason. Some maybe movies, yes, but the main cause everybody knows is those things that I just listed. And the fact that it has become cultural means that
Mhm.
you have to have a you have to have a two-way approach to fixing crime in those countries and in our country, which
Mhm.
is one, cauterize, and you have to come up with plans to cauterize and get things under control, in a way like put a band-aid over it, but you also have to treat it. You have to
Mm.
treat it,
So it's a
which
long
means
term and a short term
re-socialization.
plan.
If it's a cultural problem, you
Mm.
have to re-socialize. And there are many different, you know, articles out there that speak to how a country can start to re-socialize its people.
So why would government never employ now them strategies in it?
I don't know. I think out of an hour of discussion about violence, I said to you that 1 minute should be about music, and 59 minutes should be about these things we may talk about, like re-socialization, how we can acculturate our young that are coming up, maybe the over 20s. Those are going to be a part of the band-aid aspect of the control. But
Mm.
for the rest, we have to now teach our kids conflict resolution. We have to now teach our young boys what being a real man is,
Mhm.
right? We have to teach our young girls what being a woman is and what kind of men you should be interested
Mhm.
in.
Mhm.
What does it mean to be a citizen and a productive citizen of
Mhm.
a country?
Member of society. Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
you have to do. You have to make sure that you're providing opportunities for people and showing people
So
that all right, cool.
you think
You
topics like civics and them thing that important then?
of 100%. But not only that, you have to know raid shame on people who degrade and mash up the country by
Mhm.
profiting from badness.
Right.
Those people, you
All
cannot
right.
have them as heroes anymore.
Right. So it's a reward and punishment system where you reward. So it's
100%.
like basically what I said then is that our system or our culture where we exist right now is that we reward persons who are bad, we reward persons who are deviant, and then persons who are, because right now as we are saying now, if you're at a certain place and as a man, if you talk proper English, people look upon you like yeah, go on like you're better than or man enough or
That's the problem.
tough enough. So it's like the violence is linked to being a man. And that enough
Yes,
we don't realize that our society. Yes, when you're violent and rough and coarse and bad, you're man. Yes, when you're
Brando.
small, yeah.
I left work the other day and my glasses and my tie and my shirt and my whatever, and me the DJ wants Skilly Banks out. And a
Yeah.
lady look for me and she say, why you look innocent, boy? Look like you have like a bad man in you. So I say, and she started telling me about her ex-boyfriend who was a bad man and she used to love him bad, and when them go out, nobody can even look upon her too hard, and the woman look like she get excited talking about it, bro. But it's for sure, like if in many places in Jamaica, if you just have a 9 to 5 and you go and do your work and come. It's a very effeminate thing. It's very effeminate. Being a man, you
Mm.
should be a hustler. You understand? When you go out, you're supposed to be able to floss. You're supposed to be able to,
Whether
you
you're
know,
involved in a crime, real men, because I never see nobody post this yet, but at least them want to post. Real men involved in a crime and real man violent.
Mm-hmm.
That is what
And
they want.
and you see, so I just look at a comment, right? Somebody said, I've been here listening for the last hour. I disagree with your opinion.
You're
First of
gone
all,
down again. The voice dip.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody says, I've been here listening for the last hour and I disagree with your opinion. First of all, I think music can influence people. And I don't know if they've been listening me for the last hour, but I am not saying that music can influence people at all. I would never ever come here and say that music cannot influence. As a matter of fact, I've said that music may have some influence, and that music may influence people to do things like fashion, and there may be some youth who may decide to go and do bad things because of music.
Mm-hmm.
But music is not even in the top five, maybe not even in the top 10 of the most major reasons. Because guess what? You would have had to reach to a stage where music can influence you to go and do certain things. And how did you reach that stage? By
Mm-hmm.
what you observed and listened to happening around you and watched happening around you for all the decades of your life. That is what brought you to that stage, if that does happen. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So that's what I'm saying. It is not even a part of the solution. If it is
Mm-hmm.
that I stop all dancehall music, no, would crime disappear in 15, 20 years?
No.
If you cannot tell me yes, then how can it be a major cause?
Exactly.
How is
It
it
would
that
not.
it's acute where somebody listen to music now and then go to the badness? Or a few months down the line or whatever. If it is that I can't stop dancehall music for 20 years and violent crime would disappear.
Exactly, brother. Exactly. The
So
music now
but I
have.
respect your view, Badman, who made a comment.
Mm-hmm.
A spade.
ESP. Brother, as what you say, as it relates to influence, and you said earlier, you said in terms of fashion trends or certain things, there is a great divide between a moral choice and a fashion choice. You
Massive.
understand?
Massive.
Um, Somebody can persuade me probably easier to a fashion choice than a moral choice. You get me? I said so.
Mhm.
That's simple right there. So that's
But
simple
you
right
know
there.
what I love the person's commenting. What I'd love the person's commenting to answer for the persons who disagree and think that it is a major cause of crime that um that asks or begs for us to be spending so much time discussing this in the media.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the question, right? If it is that dancehall is so influential, why is it that the burning out of men who touch little kids, burning out of boogering and boogery, the fire that has been thrown on rapists, thieves, things of that nature in dancehall, which dancehall is very well known for. It is one of the major themes that is talked about in dancehall for many decades. Why is it that those things increase as rapidly as murders in Jamaica?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that only 1/10 of the major crimes that occur in Jamaica get affected by dancehall music, and it is murders? What about all the rest that dancehall music decries? Why is it that those lyrics don't have an effect on the young youth them to tell them say, don't
Mm-hmm.
put it there so, don't take what is not yours. Taximan and busman, all these years when we grew up, it looked so normal then. We didn't know it was pedophilia, right? Man, I
So,
talk about from she start feather, right? A taxi man used to drive for my parents, drive one of my parents' taxis, and the man tell me that once grass a grow up and field ball can
bad you
roll,
can play, yeah. We made a
right?
time.
And that man was 30 odd year old and get a 13-year-old girl pregnant. I have to take the car from him, and he did not go to prison. Him just give the girl mother money and take care of them, and everything was on. He was accepted it. There's nobody saying anything against him. But
Mm-hmm.
yet the songs always talk about don't touch the little girl them and don't touch me
Mm-hmm.
there and all of it. Why doesn't it influence those things? Why is only murder that one bad thing that it influence? And why all the good reggae songs over the years have not caused any reduction in crime at any point in time? even when we had the influx of good reggae conscious songs in the late 90s, early 2000s? Why
Mm-hmm.
does the influence of music only work one way?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. And as you say, why is it then therefore that for the countries we have some of the highest homicide rates? Because pull up some stats and recently I posted on my page. Top 10 countries with the highest homicide rate for 2021. You understand? And them not violent music. Countries where in the Caribbean, South America, Central America. You get me? I say, and as you pointed out earlier, more matter of fact, more you go back through that again for those who never hear. Where they say in at the beginning that is common to these countries that lead down to it being culture to be violent. Where they say earlier. What are the
Okay.
things them again? Post
All right. So all these
colonialism.
countries have a past, have a slavery past, right?
Mhm.
Then they have a post-colonial period.
Hold on, hold on,
Most
hold
of
on. I
them.
could take time and go through it. So you say all of them have a slavery past, like um Jamaica, right?
All
Because
of them.
me not see England, me not see America, me not see none of the rich European countries them.
None of the empires, none of the former empires.
Yeah, me not see
It
none of the
is, it
former
is,
empire.
it is Honduras. It is Guatemala. It is El Salvador. It is Mexico. Um, it is Jamaica. It is Trinidad. It's Colombia. It is Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
They have a majority, almost all
Mm-hmm. They have
have a
been
slave.
colonized.
Exactly, were colonized, had slavery, and had a post-colonial period where the people who took over were were corrupt or were involved in some kind of influence. And if I want to get into it, but majority of the Central American countries, the CIA linked up with them to try
Mm-hmm.
to
We read
fight
that.
communism
We
and
read that.
furnish people with guns, and we could go through all of that.
Mm.
Majority of
So
them.
yeah, I said that there was some link then as it relates to drug running and gun running.
100%.
Right.
Colombia, yeah, Colombia and the cocaine industry and the demand for cocaine from the north. As you know, the narcos from Colombia. I mean,
And we have history in
Honduras,
that
right?
too with drugs.
Yeah, of course.
Remember them say we
Because
are
remember, the
transshipment
drugs
over
are
and
what
thing, you know.
helped. The drugs are what helped many gangs that were affiliated to political parties and political establishments to become independent. Once they started to make their own money. Politicians never really had that much control over them anymore because they
Mm-hmm.
never needed to depend on the politicians for any guns or any money or any contracts and so anymore. They're
Mm-hmm.
able now to create their own income stream through mules going to UK, America, and make a lot of money and buy guns and set up them own thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they have that past, that post-colonial past, with corruption, with gangs, with drug running, and then what happened is that I would say maybe around the 80s to the 90s, it then seeped into the culture.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the crime rate that Jamaica had in the 70s, Jamaica was one of the most violent places in the world at the time. Many
Mm-hmm.
people look at numbers, right, as in number of murders you have. But the number of murders in 1980, which was 800, you have to remember in 1980 there were only 2.1 million people in Jamaica. So
Mm-hmm.
800 murders out of 2 million people is almost like 1,200 murders from 3 million people, with a
Mm-hmm.
population of 3 million people. You
Right.
understand when you look at the ratio? So, that was a very bad year with elections and so on. But subsequent to that, you had a steady increase from 400, 300 murders per year, steadily increasing to 700, 600 in the 90s. And by 98, 99, we had hit 1,000 murders per year. And we no look back since. We hit 1,600 in 2004, right? And then 2009 we hit 1,600 again, and then I think it was 2015. I can't remember if it's 15. We hit 1,600 again.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So it became cultural. It seeped into the culture. It was not no. Maybe in the 70s, 80s, we could have stamped out the gangs and the politicians, and we would have been okay. But no, it's
Mm-hmm.
not that anymore. It's now a cultural problem. Yeah, and it's an economic problem.
right? And then now the corruption itself continues because the the politicians and the police and enough of the government officials, there is still some amount of corruption and nepotism, and there is you know, a lot of them, we not see no whole heap of politician I get locked up, or we not see no politician I get prosecuted certain way. You hear about a case two in a year about it again, and it's like, as what you said, now it becomes culture, and the
Mhm.
culture of crime, the culture of corruption, the culture of nepotism, and the culture of violence, it continues.
Yeah,
Because as what you are saying, there is reward for it. The politician where him do this and him do that. And him are the big man. Everybody want to be like the politician, or be like the Dan, or be like the gunman. Because him get the respect, and him get the power, and him get the money. So as what you are saying, then,
Mhm.
basically what we have to do then is change societal norms then for say boy, here we go on. You see the man where just like come here Carter saying I want song, every teacher fi have a Benz. Make them see say knowledge are
Precisely,
the key. So if you not
precisely.
reward the persons who are do good, how you want you them to go on the good part?
And this is something I plan to do, Brando. It's something I plan to do. I
Mm-hmm.
want I want the youth them to realize that I have friends with degrees who make 700, 800,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
People don't talk about those things. So, and they don't go out and floss and show off. So people don't know. I have a
Mm-hmm.
friend who makes $1.1 million a month in IT right now. He doesn't have a master's degree. And he's not no links or not no, I know several people making over 500,000 a month in corporate Jamaica. Go to school, study, do them book, stay out of badness. And I don't believe that many of the youth then recognize the type of life and long life that you can live and travel the world and buy jewelry if you want and buy Gucci if you want with clean money, with nobody trying after your back. And you can get crazy girls, get crazy girls. That is the
Mm-hmm.
part that I'm not sure many of them know. I'm not sure many of them know
Mm-hmm.
that you can go to school and be the nerd then and stay out of trouble and live a long life and make damn good money and live a damn good life and
Society
travel
now
from country
highlight
to
them.
country and sort out one Asian girl and fly over a country and sort out Latin girl and go this and go. If that you want to do, or you can get married and have one house here and have one house there and travel between countries. Many of the youth them don't know that there are many Jamaican young men who live like that. They don't know. And
Mm-hmm.
all they had to do was take them book. They don't know. And me not about rich people pick me, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know my background. And me not say me rich, but you understand
Yeah.
I'm not from some uptown community. I come from back of God cousin where me live. I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
You understand? So we need more examples like that to show
Mm-hmm.
what real masculinity and what being a Jamaican man truly means,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Because once upon a time it used to mean to work hard for what you have, Now it means something else. But we need to redefine that, and we need to brainwash the little youth them from them 1, 2, 3, 4 year old. All we can remember is Roy and Pam and Zachariah Zed and C Mango there. Make the book them have some sensible things about who we want the kids to become and what they should aspire to be about Roy and
Mm-hmm.
Pam and Donkey and Zachariah Zed dumpling in his bed and all kind of foolishness.
Fox.
You
Why, brother?
understand?
Mm-hmm.
We have to make sure that we get that into the kids' heads, and we have to teach the youth them conflict resolution. We have to teach the youth them how to solve problems and how to recognize it. Not because somebody violated mean you have to kill him or you have to stab him up, to maintain
Mm-hmm.
your masculinity and maintain your ego and your self-esteem, because everybody gonna look down on you. Them something that we have to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
And that is a start. That is a
Mm-hmm,
start.
mm-hmm,
You see me? That is a start. When you have persons who do certain type of job, who are effective members of the society, who contribute to the society in a positive way, them people are get highlight. And when we say get highlight, we mean like in a mainstream media too. Like I mean, how
true,
much of
true.
these people up on the front of your star? How much of them people are start prime time news? Things that we see as news. How much of them people are get sent around daily on WhatsApp message? WhatsApp videos. How much of them people doctor speaks to patient about so and so. Teacher teaches in class. Them something that gets around and highlighted in the mainstream media,
No,
or even
no,
social
no,
media. It is the
they're not.
controversy, the sex, and the violence.
Yes,
That is what
yes,
gets highlighted.
yes, 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 yes. And another thing, you see this porn thing we're gone.
Mm-hmm.
The effect of porn on the youth is not. Sometimes we reason about Jamaica, we always talk like Jamaica is the only group of human beings on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
You have to look on the outside and see some of the norms that are happening. When you even listen to and see how some people reason about COVID, I wonder if they even look at what is happening in other countries. You
No,
know,
no,
when
me
the
not
government
there.
doing certain things, I be hear people are comment X, Y. But like, I wonder if they really watch what happening in the world. Brother,
Me
you
no
see
watch it.
this pointing, I put something them, I put visually, I put some things on the table. Again, that's how I get the rap about sexualizing and so on. And again, there has to be some truth to that where influence is concerned. But you see, some of this stuff, imagine 5 youth a booger one 13-year-old. 5 youth. Two of them 16 years old, the other three between 18 and 20. Take a little
Mhm.
girl whose father they know in the community and booger the girl. You explain to me
Me not think of music
what
them get that
it
from.
look like dancehall now influence them enough.
Yeah. Because me
Like
not hear that
dancehall
kind
that
of song.
influence them that could never happen. Because
Me
a
not
hanging
hear
tree that
me not hear Cartel say five hour we go down there and we go grab her and turn her back.
I
Me
mean
not
just
hear
think
that.
about it, bro. Like if it was so
Mm.
influential, they could never do that.
Yeah.
They could never
Any
do
other
that.
dance. Right. Me not hear that.
You
That sound
know?
like
But
some of
where
them
them
that
get
step
that
on
from?
some pointing or some
Where
video
them
or
get that from?
something.
5 man a rape a girl anally. Where them get that from? It was certainly not dancehall. So
But
for the things that they think they can pin on dancehall, they try to pin on it. You know? And I will say again, I just want to make anybody who hasn't, who just joined, right? Personally, as somebody who love dancehall and love it long time, I love creativity, love the different topics. I just feel like I personally think I have heard every metaphor about how you can bust a man head.
yeah.
And AK,
Come on.
the number of songs I may hear the same thing over. Come on, man, be creative now.
For you
Be
want your
creative,
next gun?
huh?
You want next gun?
Exactly. Talk about some other gun. At least when Cartel said Keke came, I saw the crocodile came on a bus and find some
Yeah.
creative ways to say it, and you know what I say?
Yeah.
Some alliteration and some puns mix up in the alliteration and thing. Do something creative. Well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just say, yo, bust your head with me K. just think it kind of seem repetitive and and so on. But yeah, bro.
Yeah. Brother, may I agree with you 100%. I agree with you with that. Some of the time them even with Skillibeng last EP there. Young youth are do it and thing and them are doing thing. But as I say my advice to him is next couple of songs them him drop, loud the gun thing and I'm really surprised and happy if you see him forward and I say ladies only I look like a beer song for woman and them thing there. That are the direction and even shortly after that I see because what persons not understanding Kimani. And as what I said, I find that most people reason in an absolute and extreme terms. So hear them. Oh, so does bad man music alone no want. A bad man song no want to play. No, that are not it. But what does I say? As it relates to crime and violence in Jamaica, music is not one of your main contributors to that. In the top
That
five,
is
probably
it.
not in the top 10.
That
However,
is it.
the persons who want make the violent music, only can mix it up little. You get a message because there are other things taking place in the society as well. And you
Exactly.
know, say me ever talk about that and you always talk about that.
Exactly.
Creativity. Right.
If you're reflecting what is happening in society, there's so many things happening.
Right.
Reflect some other things then. Reflect some other things. I agree with that argument 100%. But not because and this is the other thing too about people. They think that because you disagree with one thing, it is an absolute disagreement.
Yep.
And I think I've spoken quite clearly regarding my position on it. Be more creative. Be more creative. And there's some artists out there who are doing it because I can tell you right now that Yaksta Ambition song, I listen to that song almost every single day from it come out. Understand? I like how, because sometimes the positive messages, people get lazy with the creativity of it. Because it's
Mm-hmm.
positive, them feel say them can just say it and it will shot.
You,
I
you
like how
know,
him deliver it. I
you
like the
know,
space. I
you
like how he make
know,
the line them breathe. I
me
like
can
how
say
him
something to
deliver the
you.
song. I like the chorus.
Let
Tough.
me say
I like the
something to you
visuals
on that.
will match the, it really
Yeah,
look
me
like
like
it
the little
real.
dancing. Alright, so here what go on. Him know say him a go bring forward a song where and everybody a can relate to it. You understand? But him know say people it a go strike a chord
Yeah.
because the farming over breathing. You know, say the youth them nowadays want the fast life and so forth. You see me?
Mm-hmm.
Certain things him do it one way, him the little dance him put in there. If you are you never
Yes.
get a
Yeah.
yeah. You see me? But if your brother a song the bad as what you say and I'm glad for songs like that and even like Nation Bar song we forward in the space now and I show
Yeah.
the youth them say whatever that type of song we can hit to.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Carla, you are the man, your reasonability is top notch. Alright, swear there, I say.
Respect this now.
Top
Respect.
notch reason. You know, you're going to Kimani. Some people, I will get it and some not get it. But
Yeah.
we have to
That's
just
fine.
so
And I
to
mean, it's
speak.
important to have the discussion because I prefer, we're having these discussions on a platform like yours than some of the stuff that, sometimes you see some other vloggers talking about some little mix up business and so on. This you can get to see some other person's views and respect, look at their
Mhm.
views and respect their views. And sometimes you gain an understanding that you never had before. So
Right.
that's why I'm reading the comments because I'm trying to see if there are other comments here.
Right.
If somebody can say something that you have not heard before,
Mhm.
and you can probably research it, reason it out,
Well,
and make it your own going forward. Also, to make sure that we can add more to each other, others' knowledge base when we have these kind of conversations.
mhm,
You
mhm,
know,
mhm,
but one question that I really think I would love to be answered
mhm,
regarding this thing. And this is what I would love to leave with.
mhm,
What I think the government and a lot of the critics and the naysayers should ask themselves and work on this.
mhm,
Why are people gravitating, streaming, and excited about violent music?
mhm.
That should be the question.
Right.
Why do we have a society of people who like to hear violent lyrics in songs? That is the question. That's a fundamental question for me. You
Mhm,
get?
mhm,
Right?
mhm,
What
mhm.
is the reason for that?
Why is it that the society love violence? And to
Ye-
me, as I say, I think that violence and sex to what them go hand in hand. And one of the things what we just have to just come to grips with is that we love it. We
Mhm,
love it, brother. It's like something where you don't want to agree, say love. But the society and our world love it. Them love it. When the movie
mhm,
them come out, some of your top movies them, Godfather, Scarface, yo, that show the bad dog, that show the bad. So
mhm.
if a man I go have a song where I go sing, say, when me roll up with the matic like Scarface, yeah, go want to hear the song. You get
Yeah,
the
but
movie where
hold on. Let me tell you. Let me explain something to you, right?
mm-hmm.
My girlfriend is from the Philippines, right? And
Right.
she loves dancehall music. But when I explain the words to her, what it's actually saying, she'll stop dancing and look at me sometime and say, "But why are they saying that in a song?" Like
Mm-hmm.
she cannot understand why that is something that you would ever say that. Like why? And
Mm-hmm.
and and, and she make up her she stop dance. She likes the flow. She'll some of the girls song them, some of the
Mm-hmm.
chancy what she's saying, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever tight and fresh, she love them things, right? But when it comes to the violent songs, she can't assimilate it. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, brother, there's something cultural.
Mm.
Even even of
You
bad
can't
man,
relate to it.
they can't relate. Even of bad man will come from some of these Spanish countries. When them go out for party and listen to music, they don't want to hear that in the music. They
Mm-hmm.
don't they don't attach that to music. They attach just dancing to music. They don't attach
Mm-hmm.
listening to a lyric and busting a blank. That is a very different thing about our culture.
True.
Obviously, hip hop is a cousin, so it's similar there. But most cultures they're not all caught up on, say a line and you react to that line.
Mm-hmm.
bust blank and pull it up and you want to hear that line again.
Our
You
culture,
know?
and then Kimani, remember too, our culture, as we say, violence and sex has been with us from ever since. And if we narrow it down to
True.
we as Jamaicans, West Indians, and so forth, remember, forget our freedom. We had to be violent. Look at
True.
our
True.
heroes. If you look on we heroes, them listen, the people them back in them day, the white people them where they run everything, them would have say Paul Bogle as a terrorist.
Yes,
He
yes,
was
for
a
sure. And
terrorist.
and and with the law at the time, he was a terrorist.
Thank you. So we
With the
celebrate
law.
him today as a hero, but back then he was a terrorist.
Yeah.
A
To them,
violence,
yeah.
a cutlass him have used and chop off man and he was a
Yeah.
pastor. He might never pastor too, by the way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He's a pastor.
Yeah, he
Deacon.
was
A
a
deacon, Paul
violent
Bogle.
pastor that led rebellions. You understand? None of the Maroons are violence. We dey have to fight war to survive. We dey have to fight war to emancipate ourselves. We dey have to fight war to get independence.
Hmm.
So when we hear about war, it's like it already in a way. It has stimulated something already there. So I don't know.
Well, as
But
me says, some of these, the history in slavery and the colonialism is a major part of many of these countries. So, you know, yep. But
yeah,
this was a good reasoning, though, man. Respect for linking me up
yeah,
and
man.
thing.
Yo, give thanks to pass through, man. You see me a long time on your fall upon the program for come hold some
Yeah,
reason.
man.
So, we don't know where I will link you next time on some other topic. So,
Yeah,
go
man. Yeah,
ahead.
man. Definitely, man. We're there, man. We're there, and keep doing the good work, youth. And we know you say objectivity, and I know you as objective before Brandon Music Review from like what 20, I don't know, long time.
20 no. Or 20 little bit.
15, 16 years, long time.
Yeah.
So, sometimes I like read the comments where 1 minute me hear people that say you're in this camp, then they say you're in that camp. I'm like,
What? Yeah, man. Hey,
go and
hey,
confuse them with objectivity,
brother.
bro.
Remember, say me get some of the most decent from every side, For YouTube
Yeah.
side. Biggest. When me
So,
not
so
name
you end up
Brenda,
not on no side. So, that's how
um,
it goes. You kind of,
that's how
so I
people
go,
call
but
me
keep on
Brenda.
doing you, youth, and do the truth. Once you do the
Yep.
truth, you'll always be all right.
Yeah, man. Bless up
Yeah,
and big
man.
up and give thanks, yeah. Look
Yeah,
cool.
man. Respect, man. Cool,
Alright,
cool.
cool. Alright, people. So we just have some reason there. So with Kimani and thing and so forth and things. So, you know, very insightful conversation, very insightful reason there. So when you hear the points I'm in touch back, if you watch it over, you're supposed to hear where I talk about. Him talk about most of these countries with high homicidal rate, high murder rate. Them when you look on them past, I remember Marcus must have to tell us that people without knowledge and a history of their past is like a tree without roots. So to look at the root of the problem and where we're coming from, you have to look at the fact that they have post-colonial roots. And when him touch upon again, him say when the powers that be took over, they were corrupt, and them corrupt activities lead to gang. And so I don't know Jamaican story, gang formation, JLP, PNP gang, and them thing. And him a say incidentally in the 70s and 80s, dancehall wasn't that violent like in the 90s. Ninja Man and found and so. But in the early 70s, Bob Marley and so, we were a violent culture. And then we must say, as a result of that corruption and so forth, violence now became a cultural thing. So culturally now in 2021, you're gonna be violent. And then even above that, we as humans have always been linked and love violence to survive. And as me say with so I just mentioned, I say now with revolution are coming to emancipation and independence. Violence was a necessary tool and it was a must. So therefore, when an artist sing about violence today or sing about any crime, it is accepted because it is relatable. It is what is in the newspaper. It's what is on the news. This is what I'm seeing in the community. And him touch one again and say, influence is greater in where you see and where you live than even where you hear and where you watch. Because if I live in a community where the Dan get the girl, him get the money, him get the power, him get the respect, and the bad man get it, and the man where a nerd or the one where whatever, well no girl no one yeah, whatever. Then me not go with that. So me I go with what is cool because it in my surrounding. And then therefore me I go want to be like that person there. But as always say people, big up and bless up on yourself. and give thanks for pass through. You know, so some people get some edifying and thing, and others, entertainment. Let's up and big up. Brandon, remember, most things change took place in the world. Most countries are done through violence. Even the Bible, when God something through violence. Exactly, right. Fix a society, and the music will change with it, not the other way around. See them? Can I end with that? Fix the society, and the music will change it, not the other way around. Thank you. Focus on the society. Focus on what get we here. So how can we reverse the culture? What are the books we need to read? Which projects we need to undertake? Focus on the culture. Why is it that we reward people that do bad and songs that do bad and songs that we are sing about good and people that do good like teacher and doctor and so them not get highlighted in the mainstream media and them not get talked about like that. None of them that you them see as role model like it as role model. So what them I gonna do? Bless up and big up on yourself and give thanks to Pastor Joe. Brandon run left you. They come more people. Bless up, my God.